Hello, my name is Sally Melhuish and I am the Subject Officer for GCE English Language. In this short presentation, I'm going to give you an overview of WJEC Eduqas' new specifications for A-Level and AS in English Language for centres in England. This Ofqual accredited specification is for the first teaching from September 2015, with the first AS award in the summer of 2016 and the first full A-Level award in the summer of 2017. Introducing Eduqas. Eduqas is the new brand from WJEC which provides schools with newly reformed Ofqual regulated GCSEs, AS and A-levels in England. WJEC has developed the Eduqas brand to help schools clearly distinguish between legacy qualifications and reformed qualifications in England. Why choose WJEC Eduqas? The WJEC Eduqas philosophy is that learners come first. Specifications and assessment materials are designed to ensure learners can demonstrate what they know, understand and can do, and are rewarded for this. Our aim is very clear in that we provide a vehicle for the assessment of subject criteria as laid down by DFE and Ofqual, and that we have produced a specification that encourages learners to develop an enjoyment of the subject and to read and to think independently. We hold face-to-face examiner conferences to ensure all examiners are trained to a high standard and can apply the mark schemes consistently. We also pride ourselves on our personal and friendly support from our team of specialist subject experts and support staff. Key changes. There are key changes to be aware of when first preparing to teach the new qualifications. The A-level will be assessed by 80% examination with 20% non-exam assessment. The qualification is fully linear, with all assessments being taken at the end of the course. For the AS specification, it is now a completely separate qualification. Again, this is assessed entirely through examination at the end of the AS course. Our specifications have often been praised for their clarity and consistency in approach across the suite of English subjects, and this continues to be the case in the ways that we have designed two separate but linked qualifications. We have been mindful to allow for maximum flexibility in teaching approaches and also in providing links between the AS and A-level specifications, of which there will be more on this later. As you can see from this slide, our rationale is outlined. In summary, the AS and A-level English language courses aim to stimulate an interest in language and the ways it is used by focusing on spoken and written text in context, encouraging learners to read closely, making connections and apply their linguistic knowledge and understanding, developing practical skills of analysis, interpretation and evaluation, and providing opportunities for creative engagement and independent study. The challenge for us was to design a specification which would excite teachers and learners, specifications which would allow teachers to be flexible in their teaching approaches and offer learners the breadth of study required. A specification which would also allow learners to build their independence and develop their skills, which would prepare them for further study. We'll now go through the A-level specification before thinking about co-teachability and the AS specification. The language levels. Firstly, what underpins the entire course is the development of learners' knowledge and understanding of the language levels and their ability to apply this knowledge to a range of different contexts and text types, including spoken and written texts and texts from different times. These were previously referred to as the key constituents of language and language frameworks, and they are broken down into 5 distinct areas. First, phonetics, phonology and prosodics, how speech sounds and effects are articulated and analysed. Second, lexis and semantics, looking at the vocabulary of English, including historical, geographical, social and individual varieties of English. Third, grammar, including morphology, the structural patterns and shapes of English at sentence, clause, phrase and word level. Fourth, pragmatics, the contextual aspects of language use. And finally, discourse, extended stretches of communication occurring in different genres, modes and contexts. The Eduqas GCE English Language Specification is made up of 4 components. The first 3 are exam-based assessments, while Component 4 is non-exam assessment. Component 1, Language Issues and Concepts. This component encourages learners to engage with language use in different situations. It gives them the opportunity to apply their critical skills and their language knowledge. Section A is based on the study of spoken language and covers a range of situations and genres. It is designed to introduce learners to the ways in which speakers use language and interact. For reference, a list of phonemic symbols will be printed on the question paper. Section B is based on the study of 4 language topic areas: standard and non-standard English, language and power, language and situation, and language acquisition. It is designed to introduce learners to how language affects all aspects of our lives. Candidates are required to choose 1 essay question from a choice of 3. Each question requires learners to write an extended response in which they show their knowledge and understanding of language issues, evaluate contextual factors, and explore meaning. Component 2, Language Change over Time. This component encourages learners to engage with language across time. It gives them the opportunity to apply their analytical skills and their knowledge of language change. Section A is based on the study of unseen written texts from different periods, linked by genre. It is designed to introduce learners to orthography, etymology, lexical and grammatical changes in context. Section B is based on the study of the ways in which language is used distinctively in the 21st century. It is designed to introduce learners to how language is evolving to reflect technological and cultural change. This section requires learners to write an extended response in which they show their understanding of contemporary language concepts and issues. They must consider the effect of contextual factors, pragmatics, and analyse the way language is used to construct meaning. Component 3, Creative and Critical Use of Language. This component will give learners the opportunity to communicate in different ways and to explain how they have used language to shape meaning. This component presents candidates with stimulus texts which may be literary or non-literary. It is designed to engage candidates in their creative process, giving them the opportunity to demonstrate their expertise. Candidates will be required to produce original writing in any genre. They will also be required to write a commentary on one of the 2 texts that they have produced. This task is designed to encourage candidates to analyse and evaluate the language choices they have made. Component 4, Language and Identity. This component gives opportunities for learners to select an aspect of study that interests them from the list on the slide, related to the theme of language and identity, language and self-representation, language and gender, language and culture, or language diversity. Learners will be required to independently conduct a language investigation, to develop their methods of language analysis through research, data collection and interpretation, and to select material that is culturally, personally and academically of interest to them. This component encourages learners to undertake independent investigations, critically evaluate attitudes to language and its users, synthesize insights developed through the application of linguistic knowledge to the study of speech and writing, show how critical understanding of meaning and variation in language is informed by the appropriate use of linguistic analyses, and to write insightful, accurate, well-argued responses making accurate references to texts and sources. The assessment objectives. Learners must demonstrate their ability in 5 separate assessment objectives, as indicated on the screen. They're largely similar to the assessment objectives of the previous specification, with one major difference, AO4, explore connections across texts informed by linguistic concepts and methods. This assessment objective is a new assessment objective for A-level English language, but it is entirely relevant considering the links that candidates will be making across a range of texts throughout the course. AOs 1, 2, 3 and 5 are broadly the same assessment objectives as in the previous specifications. For more information about the assessment objectives for specific components, see the mark schemes in the Specimen assessment materials. And for an overview of the weightings of the assessment objectives for the qualification as a whole, please see the relevant page in the specification. Some considerations for planning a coherent course. With the decoupling of AS and A-level GCE English language qualifications, there are a number of issues facing teachers. Does the centre offer both AS and A-level qualifications? What happens to those who study for the AS qualification and decide at a later stage to complete the A-level qualification? Co-teaching is dealt with in more detail on WJEC's secure website, where there are some plans for the ways teachers might construct their courses based on the different needs of learners. There is a clear overlap between the Eduqas GCE English Language AS and A-level specifications. AS English Language Specification Summary. Component 1, Analysis of Text in Context. This is a written examination of 2 hours with 50% of the qualification. Section A is based on spoken language of the media. Candidates will receive 1 question based on the reading of unseen transcripts. So there are clear links to the exploration of transcripts in Component 1 at the A-level qualification. In this section, learners will need to understand the differences between spoken and written modes, to develop knowledge of the key features of broadcast speech, to have an awareness of key concepts and issues, to look at a range of examples, to learn how to read transcripts and to be familiar with phonemic symbols and prosodic features. Again, a list of phonemic symbols will be printed on the examination paper. And they will also need to be able to apply their knowledge of the levels of language. For Section B, learners will need to be able to explore written language in context. There will be 1 question based on the reading of an unseen text. Learners will need to study a wide range of literary and non-literary texts in preparation for this section. They will need to be able to focus on a specified aspect of the text, to understand the key concepts and issues related to the production of that text, to recognise the effect of contextual factors on language choices, and to demonstrate their knowledge of the language levels. Component 2, Using Language. This is also a written examination of 2 hours separated into 2 sections. Section A, Investigating Data, presents candidates with 1 question in several parts based on the reading of a corpus of data. The skills needed in responding to questions in this section relate directly to the skills acquired for the language investigation at A-level. In preparation to answering questions for this section, learners will need to study a wide range of spoken and written varieties, to practice recognising and describing linguistic patterns using associated terminology, to demonstrate knowledge of the language levels and of relevant concepts and issues, to understand the influence of contextual factors, and be able to make connections between the links. Section B, Critical and Creative Writing. Candidates will select one original writing task from a choice of 2 and complete a commentary. This part of the component relates directly to Component 3 of A-Level. In preparation to answer this question, learners will need to study a wide range of literary and non-literary texts, to engage creatively with a range of writing tasks, to recognise and understand the effects created by linguistic techniques, and to be able to apply their critical and analysis skills to their own writing in the production of a commentary. Resources for teachers. There are a number of resources available to assist teachers and learners, most notably the resources from the January 2015 Preparing to Teach courses. These can be found on WJEC's secure website. If you do not have a password for the secure website, please see your examinations officer, or failing that, contact us at WJEC and we'll see what we can do to help you in assisting with obtaining these resources. You will also find, as the specification gets underway, material from future CPD events, exemplar material from learners, PowerPoint presentations on the finer details of the specification and ways to develop the skills required in order for learners to succeed. For future assessments, you will also find online exam review. This is WJEC's free online exam review, allowing teachers to analyse item level data, critically assess sample questions, papers, and receive examiner feedback. If you do have any further questions, please contact either myself or my support officer, Mike Williams, and our details are on the screen. Thank you for taking the time to view this presentation.